So in the last, 30, 40 minutes or so, we had a great conversation with Lindsay Burke and Corey DeAngelis about the value of school choice and some of the public policy benefits. But I want to really paint a real-world picture of why this is such a beneficial thing. It's so incredible in so many ways for students and parents across the country from a real-world standpoint. And to explore a little bit how sometimes educational freedom, educational choice is empowered through nonprofit organizations that have taken leadership roles in doing exactly that, where there are gaps by the government, maybe not implementing some supportive programs such as tax credits or what have you. So I wanted to bring on one leading organization that I know, very familiar with, down in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And of course, I'm broadcasting from Colorado. It's called Parents Challenge. It's got a very unique approach to educational choice, particularly because as it provides scholarships to parents for their students, it is all about giving the full menu of choice, as they say. So it's not just private schools or homeschooling or charter schools. It's also traditional public schools and empowering parents in that regard. So I'm so pleased to welcome here to Jimmy at the Crossroads on a Free to Choose Friday, Debra Hendricks, who is the executive director of Parents Challenge and joins us now. Debra, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
It is great to have you. Such a pleasure to be able to have a conversation about what you're doing at Parents Challenge and also some of the real world benefits of what we've been talking about the entire show today. So I want to just ask you first to give us a sense for what Parents Challenge as an organization does and how you approach things, and then we'll delve into some of the various related issues.
Well, great. Well, one of the things is Parents Challenge has been around for 20 years, and our whole focus is to provide low-income families with the full menu of choice, as you just stated. So private, public, charter, and homeschool. And one of the things that we do that is different than other sister partner organizations around the country is that we do provide all choice, but we then also have an accountability component to our program. And that is our parents are required to attend parent empowerment sessions. And these are sessions that are designed based on what parents feel they need to help them to advocate for their children. And then we also require that our parents volunteer in the community because we feel it's important that they learn to give back to the community that is supporting them. So these are really the key aspects of what Parents Challenge provides to families here in the El Paso County area.
And so in terms of the benefits of this type of approach and program, I mean, it really seems that when you offer, as your organization says, the full menu of choice, you're really focusing in on empowering parents to make that best decision. I mean, typically when people say school or education choice, they might think of private schools or home schools or some sort of alternative way that parents can send their kids to school than just the public schools. But you're also saying that there are a lot of parents who would like to send their kids to the public school, but are also struggling at the same time to provide some of the things that they need in going to school.
Correct. So one of the things that we do is with our families, no matter what their choice is, because we have families that might have a child in private school, they may be homeschooling a child, and then they've also sending a child to a traditional public school. And so we don't tell our parents how their child should be educated because that is the parent's decision. They are their child's first teacher. But what we do in that is we provide them with resources and information to help them know how to advocate for their child no matter what their choice is. And in that, we can provide mentoring opportunities for them, tutoring opportunities for them, mental health, bullying resources, all types of math resources, reading resources, how to prepare for parent-teacher conferences, things of that nature that help to equip families to know, how do I help my child in the educational option that we have chosen for them?
And one more question I want to ask about Parents Challenge. Debra Hendricks, our guest executive director of Parents Challenge, again, a nonprofit organization in Colorado Springs. Um, that is this one, and then we'll get into broadening the topic, and that is to your point about parents. One of the things that you offer are mentorships and trainings and opportunities for parents to learn
Mhm.
particular skills that maybe they find themselves lacking, and they say, hey, I want to learn more about this topic or this subject and be able to better help my kid improve when they're at home working on homework or what have you. Talk to us
Mhm.
a little bit
Mhm.
about that.
So every year we do a focus group. We don't try to determine what parents need. We ask parents, what do you need to equip you to be better at parenting, at advocating for your child, at identifying community resources. And after we do this focus group, we then go out into the community and find resources and bring speakers in to work with our families based on those topics that they have requested. This allows them then to select topics that will help them to better work with their scholars at home, at school, and in the community. And each year, we offer about 30 to 35 of these sessions that our families can select from.
And then you also do things to make sure that there's accountability, so that, in the sense that parents have that additional motivation to make sure that in order to keep money coming from Parents Challenge and the support that you've gotten and are giving to
Mhm.
parents, that they're doing all the different things that are needed in order to make sure that the program for their child is working to the maximum impact.
Well, one of the things is that we say this is a hand up, not a handout.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, if you take our money, then you have to fulfill your role. And we're going to fulfill our role by asking our donors to continue to support the program. But we then also hold you accountable, and they must attend a minimum of 6 of the empowerment sessions each year. They must volunteer a minimum of 20 hours a year in the community or at their school of choice.
Love it.
And then they must, at the end of every semester, provide us a parent student journal. And this journal provides us an idea of what have you done with your scholar all year long so that we can determine the resources that are working well and the resources that we need to change or adapt based on the growing needs of our families.
Well, I do want to add, as we go into some of the benefits here of programs like Parents Challenge, that in talking with Steve Schuck, who of course founded Parents Challenge, is on the board of
Mhm.
directors, he informed me that Milton Friedman was a personal supporter of Parents Challenge when he was alive, which I
Yes.
just think is a real treat to know, especially given that Friedman was one of the leading advocates for decades of education choice across the country. Again, Debra Hendricks is our guest, executive director of Parents Challenge, joining us here on Jimmy at the Crossroads. Debra, I want to talk about some of the benefits here. I mean, look, when parents are sending their kids to whatever the educational choice they've made is, so it might be a traditional public school, maybe it's a charter school, could be private school, maybe they decide to be homeschool, whatever it is. I want to get down to sort of the heart of the matter as far as what it means to those parents and those kids as far as the benefits. And I'd love for you to tell us a couple of stories of some of the parents that have participated in Parents Challenge programs that have really felt empowered to make this choice for their kid, whatever it is, and that their student, their child, has been able to improve in the educational outcomes in their lives as a result.
Well, that is certainly a question that is loaded with tons of resources that,
Yes.
as I stated, one of the things we do at the end of every semester is our parents complete a parent student journal. And we get to hear tons of stories of families saying, I didn't know that I could ask for these types of services at my local school. Or I didn't know that I could go and visit my child's classroom to actually see what's going on in the classroom so I could better support them after school or at home. We have families that are struggling with IEPs, which are individual education plans, and they're saying, I didn't know how to advocate for my child and ask for the types of services that will help them to grow and to not be socially promoted, but to be given the resources to help them be successful. Certainly during this COVID-19 pandemic, oh my goodness, many of our families are saying, we didn't have technology. You guys provided that for our families. We didn't have food, and you guys assisted us in identifying resources in the community where we could get um, food for our families, where we could get tutoring services. You provide a tutor organization that was able to come in and help because our schools were struggling with providing some of the things we needed. So, Jimmy, we have many of our families just don't know where to go, and we don't tell them what resources they have to use. All we do is tell them what resources are available to them and allow them to search them out.
Yeah, and one of the things that I know, and you've described this, Parents Challenge works with a lot of lower income individuals, and
Mhm.
the challenge there is this idea, oftentimes going to your point about advocating for your child, that you might feel like, hey, I don't have money, I'm not empowered to actually speak up and have a voice in my school that my child is going to, when I should as a parent, but I don't feel confident in that regard. And so it's one of the things that I appreciate about this sense of empowering parents to feel like they can actually go to the teachers, go to the principals, or access different
Right.
programs and initiatives. And that's on top of something else that I really want to drill in on with you, Debra Hendricks, and that is the notion of, if you're at a school that just is not fit for your child, you don't feel that your kid is getting either a good quality education, or maybe particular needs are not being met, and you want to choose a different school or educational environment for your child, that is critical. I'd love for you to speak to that and how parents feel when they're given the opportunity to choose a different school, whether that is another public school or it is a private school or some other opportunity.
So, one of the things that we really encourage our parents to be is bold and courageous. If a school's not working for you, that doesn't mean that that is a bad school for someone else, but it's just not working for your child. And we encourage our families to search out. So we teach them how to find other schools that will meet the needs of their particular scholar, because one size does not fit all. And in that, we have many of our families will go and visit schools. We tell them, you've got to daunt the door of the school. You got to go in and see what's happening in the school, in your child's classroom. And if a school's not working, be bold and find what's going to work for your kid. Why do you want your child to suffer or to stay at a school just because that's where every member of your family has attended, or it's a neighborhood school, or we just don't know where else to go? So we encourage our families on a regular basis, make sure that this is where your child is being successful, and if not, move them. And we have families that make changes at the end of a semester, in between a semester, to make sure that their child is going to be successful. And then we try to come alongside of them and provide additional tools for tutoring and coaching and counseling that will enable that child to be successful and to not fall through the cracks.
And final question for you, Debra Hendricks, again, Executive Director of Parents Challenge in El Paso County, Colorado, and Colorado Springs. When it comes to school choice and educational choice, and empowering parents to be able to make a decision to send their kids to another school or what have you, when you're talking with those parents who have moved their kids to a different school because the opportunity where they were at previously was just not working for them, they needed to
Mhm.
go somewhere else. What's the sentiment? What's the sense for those parents when they actually feel empowered to make that choice, have done it, and it's worked out?
Well, some of our families have said, thank you. Thank you for helping us to not um, maintain the status quo. They have been relieved. Their child, I had a student to come up to me and she said, "Thank you for not giving up on me. I was struggling. My mom finally removed us from a school that wasn't working. And I thank you guys for not giving up on me because I was drowning." And this was a high schooler. And this young lady never talked in any of the sessions that she attended. She always sat there quiet, never said anything. And for her to make that bold statement and to say, "Can I give you a hug? Because I am so now excited about the school I'm at. And I am glad that Parents Challenge really, in a sense, encouraged, but maybe even forced my mom to look for alternatives because now I'm enjoying school."
I think that is a wonderfully positive note to end on, Debra Hendricks. It's such a pleasure and a privilege to have you on Jimmy at the Crossroads today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
And by the way, the website for Parents Challenge is what?
ParentsChallenge.org.
Excellent. Well, keep up the good work. I appreciate you joining us today and appreciate all that you're doing there and everybody across the country who is looking at programs like yours to say, hey, this is what we need to do in our community. So thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You as well. Once again, Debra Hendricks joining us here on Jimmy at the Crossroads, Executive Director of Parents Challenge, which, yes, indeed, did get personal support, financial support from Milton Friedman, which I just think is wonderful, especially here on Free to Choose Friday when we're talking. Let's put him up on the screen one more time since we've been talking. He was a leading advocate, Milton Friedman, of school choice at a time when it wasn't even something people were talking about, something people knew, something people were discussing or even thinking about. 1955, he wrote his first essay, as Lindsay Burke pointed out, from the Heritage Foundation. And he was consistently an advocate because he knew that every child needs to have the best educational opportunity that they possibly can. That's what it's all about in the end. Providing for your children and making sure that they have the best opportunity that they can get to improve their lives. This is the kind of content that we're bringing here on Jimmy at the Crossroads in partnership with the Washington Examiner day in and day out. And we talked about it before, but I recently launched a brand new program just in the past few days called Jimmy's Crossroads Club. And I'm just so excited about this because what we've created is an opportunity for you to be a part of Jimmy at the Crossroads. Joining Jimmy's Crossroads Club, variety of different levels, even business opportunities to join in with your business. So you can get some perks like discounts on the shop for Jimmy at the Crossroads, discounts on new courses I'm going to be offering, special opportunities to involve and get engaged in webinars and what have you. Also, items, chocolate harmonicas perhaps, an engraved harmonica with your name on it, Jimmy at the Crossroads mugs, wine tumblers, and more. So many great little perks in there and other things. Please log on to members.jimmyatthecrossroads.com. You see it on the screen there. members.jimmyatthecrossroads.com. And sign up. Different levels ranging from $5 to $100 for individuals, and then also there are business opportunities. So please do check it out. members.jimmyatthecrossroads.com. You just watched a clip from Jimmy at the Crossroads. Don't miss more engaging, intelligent talk. Subscribe to the Jimmy at the Crossroads YouTube channel today. You want to catch our live show. And I love your support.
I got Jimmy at the Crossroads, making sense out of no sense. Yeah.